On a night of opportunity for young players as the big names all sat out, Isaiah Collier shined the brightest. Jazz get the win over Brooklyn. We're talking about it next on POSTCAST.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Utah Jazz beat the Brooklyn Nets 112-111. David Locke along with Ron Boone as we will break down this one for you tonight. The Utah Jazz playing without many of their marquee guys. Brooklyn playing without most of their headliners. And we get an opportunity night for a bunch of guys to shine, and that's exactly what many of the young Jazz players did tonight. And they win it 112-111 here at Delta Center. Third win of the year for the Jazz at home, but the play of the night as the Jazz down one late in the ball game. Inbound Isaiah Collier fakes the handoff to Brice Sensabaugh, and Collier, I don't actually know that he made the right read, since the read would be that when he faked the handoff, they were supposed to go with Sensabaugh. Nobody went with Sensabaugh, but amazingly, Isaiah throws the ball out in front, splits the double team, recollects the ball, and finishes at the rim for the layup. A massive layup. And Ron, your point on our postgame show with Jake and Tim was so special for him because he'd made a bunch of mistakes late. He'd had a dust up with a teammate, and now the night that all will be talked about will be this final play.
Yeah, absolutely. So what that looked like at the end of the ball game was a huge mistake made there by Collier. And then, he
took a 8-second violation, not getting across half court.
Yeah, exactly. And that sparked the little disagreement between the two on the sidelines. But fortunately, the Jazz came back and won this ball game. The thing for him, being as young as he is, not afraid of the moment, is what I was impressed with. And he's going to have a lot of moments like that. Gave the Jazz a chance to win the first overtime win and win a home game if they hadn't won in quite some time.
He's got a little something to him. Like we saw it when he went down to the G League his first night. He dropped 30. He's got a little swagger to his game. He hasn't really had an opportunity to show that when he's only playing 12, 14 minutes. He's made a few starts in a row without Keontae out. I think he gained some confidence, and then he hit some threes tonight, Ron. And I think hitting that jump shot freed up the rest of his game.
Yeah, 50% from the three-point line, 3 for 6 from that range. And I remember, and I was thinking during the course of the ball game, did he make a statement that I can shoot or I'll get better shooting or something like that? I know I've heard that somewhere, but the confidence is everything with a guy like that. He's not going to be the one that's going to have a huge night shooting the three, but he can be that guy that can exactly what he did, explosive, beat the teams. I mean, the opponents down the floor, get layups, and I can pull his numbers up there in the paint. But he has a very good rate of assist rate, and then he has a very good scoring rate at the rim.
Yeah, I mean, the Jazz turnover issues have been down a little bit here recently. The Jazz have been much better taking care of the basketball. Obviously, the Jazz have been 30th in the league for most of the year, taking care of the ball, and recently we've seen better in Collier again tonight, low on the turnover. He's got a lot of skills, Ron. You're seeing a lot of them come together. Obviously, he's going to have to figure out how to shoot. In the last 5 games he came in, shooting just 17% from 3, so tonight was very, very different for him. And he's got to find a little midi there. He found a little floater at another point tonight, I think. He's going to have to figure out how to be a viable offensive shooter, because you have to be in this league. But speed, strength, vision, unselfishness, tenacity, swagger, check.
Yeah, his speed is going to be probably his biggest asset. I know we've talked about that could be something that hurts him, but it could also be probably the big thing is it's going to help him for the most part, because he can get by guys and finish at the rim. He doesn't play big. He's 6'3", and you just look at Keontae, who's 6'4". And so they're pretty much the same size, but Keontae probably plays a little bit bigger than he does.
One of the big plays of the night, I mean, he has a monster dunk, gets blasted, actually goes out of the game for concussion protocol and comes back in. I mean, that shows you a little something that he got hit that hard, kind of had to take a moment, and then was able to come back into that ballgame.
Yeah, it's he obviously, hopefully he's like Colin Sexton, wants to be out there all the time.
Kind of love, in retrospect, when they told me I had to go have concussion protocol, he sprints off the floor so he could get it done as fast as possible.
Great point.
All right, we'll talk about the rest of this one. The Jazz get the win tonight over the Brooklyn Nets. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On and the official sportsbook of the NFL. One more NFL playoff game to be played this week. You can get into all the NFL action right now with FanDuel. All that's going on, go to FanDuel.com while the game's going on or before the action happens. It's all taking place at FanDuel.com. And fans, right now with FanDuel, you can make a $5 bet, and what do you win? You automatically get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. That's not if you have to win. It's win or lose. So the FanDuel app has everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. Visit the website. Share betting lines around your for all of the lines of the various NBA, NFL games. Go to FanDuel.com, $200 in bonus bets at FanDuel. Make the playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL and of Locked On. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Robinhood and Robinhood Gold, a chance for you to get the treatment of the 1% with Robinhood Gold. You may enjoy that VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the exclusive no longer are exclusive. Robinhood Gold gives you your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%, plus you also get a 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of high net worth are now available to any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires. Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year. For the first match, must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on the data from the FDIC on November 18th of 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. All right, let's talk about the rest of this one. Back and forth, opportunity for a lot of guys. What jumps out to you?
Well, the fact that Will decided that he was going to go with that that lineup that he had on the floor for the most part for the fourth quarter and into overtime. He just gave those guys a chance to see what it's like. Pressure situations, execution, all of that.
Let me jump in. The 5 were Collier, Sexton, Sensabaugh, Cody Williams, and Drew Eubanks.
Exactly. And even though the Jazz, I thought, was a little undersized because Eubanks was the only one that was going to be a strong rebounder. And I thought that did hurt them, especially on that one possession with the was that a missed free throw?
Yeah, when there were 3 or 4 opportunities. One of the big calls tonight's a 24-second shot clock violation. That the Jazz couldn't get the rebound, and finally the Nets just missed the rim enough times that the Jazz got the ball back.
Right, and that was huge there as well. Gave the Jazz a chance to win it for the most part.
A lot of minutes for the youngsters tonight. Cody Williams gets 37 minutes. He only shoots 2 of 10. Probably wasn't one of the night that you're going to talk about him. But Kyle Filipowski got 20 minutes tonight. He did hit 3 threes tonight. Hit 2 corner threes. He, I think, I had it up at one point. He was 4 of 20 something on corner threes this year. Let me see if I still have it. I do. And he finally, or a non-corner threes, and he hits an above the break 3, played a little confidence, a little arc on that one, and was able to make a big shot for the Jazz when the 3-point shooting got hot in the third quarter.
Yeah, I was impressed with him there as well. Especially his shooting is not trustworthy, I think, right now, but that confidence has to be very good for him for making those 3-point shots tonight.
But we talked about Isaiah Collier in the whole night and the final plays and all that. I mean, he was just really good all night long, though. I mean, he had, I think, finished with 7 rebounds and 7 assists, or maybe he got, I don't have the final. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, he just was really, really solid all night long. You would not have watched tonight's game and thought Isaiah Collier was a rookie.
Yeah, 37 minutes that he played tonight. So that's solid minutes for him. And field goal percentage was good. Knocked down something. He did rebound, though. I mean, if you get a Jason Kidd type good point guard, a rebounding point guard, that type of an effort, kind of like the way he played.
All right, I don't want to put a damper on anyone's performances tonight. I most want to put them in context. And you tell me whether this is fair. Tonight's a night where these guys should play well. Cameron Johnson's not playing. Like their main guys aren't playing. They're playing. There was only 3 players in this game who've established themselves as NBA rotation players: Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, and Colin Sexton.
Mhm.
The next tier player were guys where the league had said, yes, we like you, and then have decided they don't like him anymore. So that's Zaire Williams, Keon Johnson, both first-round picks whose teams rejected them early in their. Zaire Williams was the 10th pick of the draft by Memphis 3 years in. He's out. Keon Johnson, the Clippers bailed on him like 23 games in. Okay? The next tier player was a bunch of guys in which the league have drafted as first-round picks, which is our guys: Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams, Brice Sensabaugh, who are trying to prove themselves as NBA players. And the last group was a bunch of undrafted players who are trying to prove they belong in this league. In that environment, frankly, Brice Sensabaugh, Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams should have pretty good games.
So you're saying that the level was the playing field was level.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I totally
They weren't
agree
playing
with that.
Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter and Clint Capella and 12-year veterans like we saw the other night here against Atlanta.
I totally agree with that. Absolutely.
So it's great they played well because that's what they need to do and should do. So it's not, but let's just put it in context. This was a night where they needed to play well and show they could play well because these are the guys they should play well against. I don't expect them to play well against Russell Westbrook or Jamal Murray or,
They're
Steph
just not
Curry.
ready for
right,
them.
right,
Just
or
not ready
LeBron
for
James.
them.
But these are guys that they should play well against.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you're doing it at home. It's not a lot I can add to that, but you're absolutely right.
Right. And it's not, again, not to minimize, but just to context.
Right.
And it's important that they did play well. And it's great that they played well because they need those moments. They need those confidence. They need to take advantage of those games. Reliability pluses, Ron Boone.
Well, we know one for sure.
Isaiah Collier.
Isaiah Collier, and I think Colin Sexton deserves one as well. Filipowski.
You're going Colin Sexton tonight on an 8 of 20 shooting and a -10. Wow.
What I'm looking at, though, is what was that, third quarter?
Well, yeah. And an 0 for 6 start.
Yeah, and then he comes to life on the third and fourth quarter. He did come to life offensively. Jazz ended up outscoring them 36-30 in that quarter because of him.
All right. I'll buy it. I did not think it was one of Colin's better nights. I do think it's a huge burden on Colin, like when he is pretty much the only rotation player we have on the floor. So yeah. I would give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that. Okay.
Filipowski.
Yep.
And then Sensabaugh for sure.
Okay, I would add Svi Mykhailiuk, goes 4 of 7 for 3 and plays really well tonight.
In 16 minutes. I mean, he's
right.
I thought if he was to get the minutes, he probably would have ended up scoring 30.
Right.
Yeah, easy.
Jazz win it tonight over Brooklyn, 112-111. Free basketball tonight. Certainly a lot of fun. Jazz able to pull it off. Isaiah Collier has the best game of his career and is the star of the night. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll have Locked On Jazz for you tomorrow. We'll talk about it more coming up on that one as well. And make sure you sign up for the daily newsletter at Locked On Daily. Get Empty the Noggin after every single game as well, exclusively on the Locked On Daily, on the Locked On Jazz newsletter. Sign up at Locked On Daily. Check out Locked On NBA Game Night after every single NBA game. They look at every game every night on Locked On NBA Game Night. Have a great night.